being able to add -slug of the custom post type that we're working with to the end of a template name and have that pull out and work for that particular custom post type entry should make sense to you. What's interesting is we don't have the ID option with custom post types, but we do have the slug option. So let's just look briefly at how this works, and this should be pretty intuitive and make sense to you. So we're going to start off here with our single portfolio, and then we'll make this work for our PHP for WordPress portfolio entry. So on our site, one of the ones that we have is PHP for WordPress, and the slug is PHP for WordPress. So we'll add that to the end of our name, and it should take over control for this particular portfolio entry. So we'll do our file save as, and then PHP for WordPress, and then come down here, PHP for WordPress. And what can we do here? We'll just make it splash. This is actually one area where I think that creating a new template may make sense if you want a particular portfolio piece of yours to look different than other ones. Maybe it gets more attention. Maybe you're doing custom ones for everyone. Depending on your project, that may or may not make sense, but it may be a possible place where you could use something like this. So we've got our single portfolio thing working. And I will point out though, is that if you were going to use the exact same include in your template, then you'd probably want to create a template part, because now we do have duplication of code. So you might want to do that, but if you were going to do something completely separate, which would be the idea of creating a custom template, then you wouldn't need to change that because it would be different code. But if it was the same, then we should pull it out and put it into its own template parts. Okay, so with that done, we'll do one other thing, and that's in our style.css. One of the bodies, we have a custom body color thing here, and we'll do, if the body has the class of our particular template, then we will go ahead and do a specific color. Then we will go ahead and do a specific color. I need to get that class real quick, so let's go check that out. So we can see we now have our splash page loaded, and in the inspector we could see portfolio template default single portfolio. This is actually what we're looking for, single portfolio PHP for WordPress. It looks like it is not giving us that option here. So later on we could learn about customizing and giving some extra classes in here, but for now we'll just use our post ID. That'll get us there. So I could say body post ID of this, go ahead and be a particular color. I'm sorry, background color. And now we could see, okay, cool, that's styled a certain way. And remember, some of this is happening with CSS, some of it is happening with our actual template. If this makes sense for you, if you're dealing with custom content and one or a few or all of these may require or be benefited from custom templates, and now you know that you could add -slug to the end of it and it'll work. Go ahead and code out along with this just to kind of follow along and make sure that you understand how this works through actually coding it and not just watching. But you may or may not need to apply this to your project. So if it makes sense for your project, go ahead and throw something custom in. If it doesn't, then don't worry about it. Again, you don't have to use every single template possible. You just want to know which ones are available to you when it is the right time to be using them.